Hi YouTube, it's me Tifo Wilderness. Welcome to my channel and welcome to a review. Yes, I got a Korean toy that's just come in that I'm going to do a review on for you, and this one's kind of interesting. It's definitely one of those that's more than meets the eye, because at first glance it's a crash combining Automorph toy, but then it has an extra trick whereby once it's done its Automorph gimmick, you can then unfold extra arms and legs, and you end up with a decently articulated and decently proportioned robot toy. So it's the best of both worlds, basically. You know, it's a crash combining toy for a little kid, and then it's got more going on with the extra limbs and articulation for an adult collector. It's a really sweet little figure. Now, I saw this thing being reviewed by a few Korean reviewers, especially Mr. Carbot. He did a very thorough review on it, like he does, and he went into it in some detail. And I like the look of it so much I had to get one. It's just taken me until now to actually get around to buying one out of 11th Street, because these days the price of buying Korean toys off eBay is just unrealistic. They've ramped up the price of the figures. They've got their massive great scalper premium on the figure, and they charge shipping as well. So to buy this equivalent toy through eBay, you'd be probably talking, well, it'd probably be about getting on for 50-60 quid. I actually paid just over 40 quid for it, which I still think is a bit much, considering it retails for about 18 to 20 quid in Korea. But then you have to take the shipping into account, and when you're buying figures off Korean retail websites like G Market or 11th Street, you can get the figure more or less at Korean retail price, but it's the shipping that you have to pay on top that makes it expensive. But needless to say, both my Korean toys that I ordered this month arrived pretty quickly. I was very surprised. I mean, this one took 6 days to arrive from Korea. I ordered it on the 1st and it arrived on the 7th, and I was quite surprised. And when I used to buy years ago, when I used to be buying, regularly buying 2 Korean toys from my favourite eBay seller, Mr. Soon, he used to take like 8 to 10 days for his deliveries. So this is pretty quick. And my second Korean toy, which I'll be reviewing next, that also arrived the following day. So that took, that took just one more day more. It just took 7 days instead of 6. But anyway, getting on to this figure. Now, this figure is another one of it's from the Hello Carbots toy line, and it's a figure from season 9. So it's the same season that Pentastorm X came from. So you've just seen me do my reviews on the Pentastorm X figures and the Pentastorm itself. So it kind of ties in with that. This guy has got, again, he's got one of those unusual names that's open to interpretation. In fact, I've seen the name of this character being spelt differently in a number of different places where it's been advertised for sale. Now, Carbot calls it Moban with a colon between the Mo and the Ban. And let's have a quick look at the packaging. So here's the packaging, and as you can see, it's in a plastic, sort of blister pack, which is unusual because most Korean toys that I buy anyway usually come in a large box, but this one didn't. So I opened it up and got it out. It does have some instructions. That show you how it works. And accessory wise, it comes with one of those little cube things that you can that Chatan can put in the watch, and it makes lights and sounds, usually associated with the character in question. And then you look at his name, Moban, and that thing's supposed to be a colon, but they've got got a colon up there, and that's what Carbot has used. I'm not going to use the colon. I'm just going to call him Moban or Moban. But other names I've seen for this guy is Movan, Urban, and Nevis. So actually, the seller I bought this off on 11th Street had it listed as Nevus, or Nevus, Nevus. So make of it what you will. I'm just going to call it Moban. So anyway, so this is made up out of 2 units. You have the little car. Now this is it's just a little plastic car with wheels that roll. So yeah, as you can see, it rolls quite easily. Design of this car kind of looks like Evan from Turning Met Card. It's kind of similar to his sort of car mode. It's a very sort of stumpy little hatchback with, you know, dark blue with sort of yellow stripes down the bonnet heading towards the front headlights. Very, very similar to Evan, and there is a link between Hello Carbot and Turning Met Card, because they had them you know, Prime Unity figures which were based on you know, Met Card characters. So you get that, and then you get, oh, and his name apparently is Laser. So the little blue car is called Laser, right? And then you get the main thing. You get this futuristic looking van. That's why I think the word, well, the name Moban would make a little bit more sense. I mean, this is Mo and that's the van, you know, it's that would make more sense to me, but Moban it is. And it's this pretty cool looking futuristic, you know, lorry or truck or van. Pretty cool looking. And there's a big gap underneath. And in vehicle mode, obviously it doesn't do a lot. It does have some ports back here, because it does come with some accessories. It comes with 2 weapons. It comes with this this sort of like pistol or sort of, you know, machine gun type thing, and then you've got this other gun which then folds out into some kind of rifle. Now these can plug into here if you so wish, like so, and then you can have them sticking off the back of the vehicle mode like that. But then again, you don't need to. It just gives you somewhere to put them in vehicle mode, really. Just put them off to one side for the moment. And then, right, so you've got the vehicle. It's got wheels. It rolls. It's a nice little truck. Now, let's get into the first part of the transformation on this thing. It's got a 2-stage transformation. Firstly, it's got the Automorph. Right, so to do the Automorph, you get your car, it drives into that little slot in the back, and then it does that. It flips over. Now let's do that again. Reset it, do it from the front this time. Right. Oh. Yeah, so let's do it in my hand. So yeah. So it just folds up like that. And this is his first mode. Now, this looks familiar because if you go to Carbot V Season 2, and if you look back, remember back to some figures that I reviewed last year, Classic and Lightning from the Carbot V Season 2, they had an intermediate mode very similar to this, and I don't know what its official name was, but I used to call it the squat mode. So basically it's just half vehicle, half robot. It's kind of like a robot torso on top and like a sort of, you know, part of the vehicle mode on the bottom. Very, very similar. I don't know what this official mode is. I'm sure KR Brickbot will be able to tell me because he understands Korean and maybe he's watched the episode in the show and knows what this mode is particularly referred to. But in the show, I believe, I haven't actually watched the episode, Moban can you know, drive around like this and do things, and that's fine. And like I said, it's got this spring-loaded Automorph gimmick, which is pretty neat. It's a good little fiddle toy, and I'm sure, you know, it'd be great fun for a small kid to play with. But that's not all this thing does. it's got more. It's more than meets the eye. I mean, you think that would be the end of it, but no. There's so much more. Right. So there's a further transformation. Start off with the arms. You can fold them out. Then bring this panel out, fold it down, straighten them out, and do the same on that arm. And then you start unfolding the legs. First of all, you start doing that, and start straightening the hips out. And you've got this flap here. It's got like a little metal tongue, which when you fold it down, it locks the Automorph gimmick in place, effectively neutering the Automorph gimmick so it doesn't go off while you're messing around with the proper robot mode. Then you lower that flap, split the legs, flatten the feet, and there you go. You now have a decently proportioned articulated robot, bipedal robot. And wow, I can't believe this. I mean, this is some kind of voodoo or magic trick that they've pulled off here, because it's the best of both worlds. It's an Automorph gimmick toy, and it's a decently articulated, robot figure. How the hell did they manage this? Obviously, the transformation from one to the other, there's a little bit of compromise between the two modes, and the compromise is basically the head is fixed. The reason being is because the Automorph, the magnet's in the top of the car, and it's actually on the underside of the robot mode's head. So when you put the car on, it undoes the latch and it folds round. And also you get these unsightly gaps here in the chest of the robot, because the car, you can take the car out and it's got a big gaping void, but and the car sort of rattles a little bit. But that's all the compromises that they've done for this particular figure. I mean, the rest of it is it's full on, because it's got the Automorph, but it's also got a decent robot mode. So articulation, obviously nothing at the head, but the arms, you go all the way around. It's got bicep swivel, and now it's got to be said that Korean toys don't go in for what I refer to as intermediate articulation. That's the joints between the main joints. I mean, yes, they have shoulders, elbows, hips and knees, and maybe a head. There's a lot of Korean toys I've got that have got fixed heads like this one. But bicep swivels are very, very rare, even though it has to be said that Pentastorm X has got, all the figures have got bicep swivels. And obviously 90-degree elbow. Nothing at the waist, obviously, because of because of that. But the hips, I mean, obviously the arms go out to the side as well. The hips now, yeah, he does the full Van Damme, the really gorgeous spread. If I had to flip this little flap forward to get your motion forward and back. Thigh swivels, it's got thigh swivels as well. And the feet, now transformation, the foot hinges back, but it's got ankle tilts as well. It's got ankle tilts. And that is unheard of. Again, yeah, the Pentastorm X figures have ankle tilts. But for something this size, having all that sort of extra articulation, that's unheard of. I mean, size-wise, this thing, it's sort of a halfway house between a Deluxe and a Voyager in, sort of like Transformers chug scale. And you put it next to Leader Megs, and as you can see, he barely comes up to his waist. But I mean, it's got a decent weight for its size. It's nice and solid, apart from obviously, the little magnet magnetically held car in the middle. But if you hold that, it's nice and solid. And obviously the guns can go in the fists. And yeah, so yeah, it's decently posable. Go figure, you know. It's really cool, and I really wanted to get one, and I've got one now. And this is an awesome little figure, and they've, like I said, they've pulled off an amazing trick with this, because, you know, like I said, it's got the Automorph gimmick, and it unfolds into, you know, a decently articulated bot. I mean, the transformation from one to the other isn't that difficult. You just sort of unfold the legs, unfold the arms, and there you go. It's really simple. And sending it back is pretty straightforward. There it is, back to its sort of squat mode, and then take the car out, flip that round, and then it's back to vehicle mode. So yeah, it's a pretty cool little bit of kit. You know, it's I mean, yeah, you can get a little bit of articulation in the squat mode. You can just sort of undo the arms, and then, you know, it's got articulated arms in the squat mode as well. So that works too. So, you know, it's got options. You know, there's a lot you can do with this, and it's a really cool little figure, and that's why I wanted to get it and do a review on it. And there we go. Hello, Carbots. Moban. Brilliant little figure. Genius engineering on it. The way that this works. As I understand, there was in the toy line for season 9, there was a couple more figures shown in the end credits, you know, on either side of the lineup that seem to have a similar sort of thing going to these. But those, I don't think those toys ever came out, and I think this is the only one. So I don't know so much. We'll just have to see. But yeah, it's a great little figure. It's got a lot going on. Decent, you know, playability and potential. I love it. I think it's great. And yeah, there we go. So hopefully you enjoyed this review. We've got another figure coming next week. So I've been 25 Wilderness. Goodbye for now. I'll catch you all next time. Ta-da.